Our Premier League insider David Ornstein joins us. Good morning, David. Let me start by asking you about Tottenham. Really good result for them yesterday, but that's so often the case. Really good, then really bad, as we saw in the Champions League. It doesn't stop the fact that people believe Antonio Conte is going to be on his way out at some point, and that perhaps the familiar face of Mauricio Pochettino will be coming back. What do you know, David?
Well, that is the big question, Rebecca. And I do think the common consensus is, as we have touched upon on NBC, that Antonio Conte will be leaving at the end of the season. Despite the fact that his contract does have a clause in it to extend, I don't think Tottenham have any interest in holding him against his will. He would have to indicate that he wants to stay. They would have to indicate that they want him to stay. And so it will be a mutual decision. And if he is to go, that means we're into the last 11 games of Antonio Conte, because they're only in the Premier League now, no other competitions. And what they want to do is plan better than they did last time in 2021, when they had a real mess of a managerial recruitment process with candidates coming and going, including Mauricio Pochettino. They'll want to plan properly. One of my colleagues, Jack Pitt-Brooke, says that the sporting director, Fabio Paratici, is already drawing up a list of candidates. And there are names on there, the likes of Luis Enrique, Ruben Amorim, Luciano Spalletti, all admired, according to my colleague Jack. And there are others who might come into the frame, the likes of Ryan Mason, who's there already, Roberto De Zerbi, Marco Silva, Thomas Frank, and even Steve Cooper have been rumoured. But it's really Mauricio Pochettino who everybody's been talking about, because he's available. There is some admiration there for him, of course, still from what happened in the past. I'm sure there's a lot of appeal on his side as well. But he'll have other options too come the summer, potentially Real Madrid, clubs in Italy perhaps as well. There's this feeling maybe never go back, but also a bit of unfinished business. And what the role of Fabio Paratici, of course, has so much power there at Tottenham Hotspur, even though there's uncertainty over his future, because he is in some trouble for accounting allegations in Italy, where he's received a 30-month ban from when he was at Juventus. So will he still be there? But so there's a lot of scrutiny around whether it would be feasible for Mauricio Pochettino to come back. From those you speak to around the situation, they feel it's quite unlikely, and that it's going to be an uphill task if he is going to be appointed. But it just crystallises the fact that this is a huge summer for Tottenham Hotspur. Harry Kane will be going into his final 12 months as well. And they've still got a lot to play for now. They're in the top four too. So, yeah, I think that is one that's going to keep us talking for a while longer. And Mauricio Pochettino certainly is on the lips of many, but I'm not sure how likely that is to occur.
Well, they say never go back, David. They say never go back. Let's talk Manchester United and the takeover. It seems to be dragging on and on. What is the very latest on whether the Glazers are selling up or not?
Well, their initial statement, Rebecca, did not guarantee a sale. We reported on NBC that the intention of Rain Group, the bank who were appointed to lead this process, was a complete sale in the first quarter of 2023. However, the Glazer family, who own Manchester United, said that they are exploring strategic alternatives, which could be a full sale, but it could also be part investment or some other solutions, maybe somebody taking on their debt to help them invest in players, in new stadium, new training ground. What we're on to here, Rebecca, is the second stage, as it's being called, of this possible takeover process. The first was indicative offers arriving by the 17th of February. That brought us two public candidates, Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani of Qatar and also Sir Jim Radcliffe. There are said to be one or two others who have not become public. Sheikh Jassim is wanting to take over Manchester United 100% debt-free. Jim Radcliffe is said to want to buy out the Glazers, which is 69% of Manchester United. And also, he may take on some debt, but he would put that on himself and not Manchester United, so some borrowing. Now we're going on to meetings and presentations. Some happened last week with Elliott, the hedge fund, who have offered their services to help finance any potential deal for the club, or if the Glazers are going to stay. And then we will go next week into presentations with representations of the interested parties here in Manchester, where I speak to you, and also from London as well. The next stage after that would be a favoured bidder going on to a period of exclusivity and potentially trying to finalise the deal, which they would want to do as soon as possible to get in time for the transfer window. But it all comes down to the Glazers. And as things stand, none of the bids meet their valuations, unless there's a quarter given on their side or the prospective owners come up, then there is a bit of a standoff. And the big question is, do the Glazers really want to sell? Will they go through with it? And as things stand, we do not have an answer to that. The situation rumbles on.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. For even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock and be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend on USA Network and on Peacock. We will see you over there.